and grabbed the wobbling jug. I know it's stressful. Ellen put the tray on the table. That's because you want everything to be perfect, honey, and it will be. Even if the occasional little thing goes wrong, no one will notice. She took her seat. Josie smiled at her mother and piled ham onto her sliced baguette. We all dug in. I hope the weather's as nice on your wedding day as this. I leaned back in my chair, nibbled on my sandwich, and looked out over the beach. It was early January in the Outer Banks, but unseasonably warm. No one was brave enough to attempt to swim, but people walked barefoot through the surf. Gulls circled overhead, and sandpipers darted in and out of the waves. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and the ocean rose and fell in calm, gentle swells. On the deck, out of the wind, we were comfortable in sweaters and woolen throws. A sunny day would be nice for the pictures, Ellen said, but otherwise we're weatherproof. Compared to some of my friends' daughters' weddings, we're pretty much good to go. The church is booked, the dinner is out of our hands. Lucy, the cake? All taken care of. I've ordered an arrangement of cupcakes in 3 flavors, French vanilla, carrot, and chocolate fudge, like Josie wanted. Josie had wanted to make her cake herself, but I'd managed to convince her that she'd have enough to do in the days leading up to her wedding. She'd finally given in and provided me with the name of a baker friend of hers in Kill Devil Hills, whom she referred customers to if she couldn't accommodate them at her own bakery. We need to plan flowers for the church and the table settings at the restaurant, Ellen said. You 3 sort out your dresses, and that's about it. Have you got your dress, Ellen? Grace asked. I've had it for months. It cost far more than I planned on spending, and when Amos saw the price tag, I thought he was going to have a heart attack on the spot. She smiled. But it's worth every penny. How many guests are we expecting? Steph asked. About 80. Almost everyone we invited has accepted. Small and simple was what Josie and her fiancé, Jake Greenblatt, wanted, and small and simple was what we were determined my cousin's wedding would be. They didn't want to spend a lot of money. They didn't want a lot of gifts. They only wanted to celebrate their love in the presence of their closest friends and family. Fortunately, the mother of the bride, Aunt Ellen, was on board with that. Jake, the groom, was the owner and head chef at Jake's Seafood Bar, a restaurant in Nags Head. The reception would be held at the restaurant, and he and his staff would handle all the details of the food and drinks. That took an enormous burden off Josie and her bridesmaids, me, Stephanie, and Grace. Josie's cousin from her father's side, Mirabelle, was also going to be a bridesmaid, but she lived in Louisiana, and I hadn't met her yet. You're wise not to worry about matching bridesmaids' dresses, Aunt Ellen said. You have your own individual taste, and I trust each of you to make the perfect choice. So there's no reason, dear, for you to run away to the mountains. I hid a grin as I glanced at the kitchen window, open to let in the soft breeze. Like most mothers, Aunt Ellen always knows what's going on in her house, even when she isn't supposed to be in hearing range. Josie leaned over and gave her mother an enthusiastic embrace. The rest of us leapt to our feet and gathered around for a group hug. When we were seated once again and enjoying our lunch, Steph said, I'm thinking of a beach wedding. Even Aunt Ellen squealed. You're getting married. When? Did Butch propose? Calm down, everyone, Steph laughed. I'm talking when I get married, if ever I do. I have absolutely no plans for that at the moment. I think an outdoor wedding is nice. And here... She waved her hand to encompass the beach spread out below us, stretching off into the distance in both directions. Is the perfect place. Weather permitting, of course. I've been to some pretty soggy outdoor weddings. I like a winter wedding, I said. My oldest brother got married in January at a resort at Lake Placid. It was absolutely magical with the freshly fallen snow. The bride wore a dress in winter white. The sleeves were trimmed with fake fur, and she had a big furry hood.